Hello, I'm Jo Miller and I'm a milliner. I'm going to make a Jo Miller lemon fizz. Yeah, just before I left Sarabande, I did a show with the milliner Leo Carlton, who I was sharing space here at my time at Sarabande. So the collection that I made just before I left Sarabande, it was called Do You Love Me, Do You Love Me Now? And I was working through processing material, and I was taking materials directly off the street and combining them with other materials which were maybe more expensive, like resin, and I was pushing them through process. So I was working with cardboard and like skinning it and creating what I consider to be urban skins. Okay, so some of the materials that I worked off directly off the street, I found an air vent which was key to the collection, and I pulled it all apart and used the different parts for different pieces. So I used the metal grid and I like pushed different materials through it, like bin bag, cardboard. I also used the actual air vent as a template, which became part of my patterns, which the piece that I'm wearing is a folded air vent. And then, so I just manipulated the actual object into a hat form. And then one of the other key pieces from the show was air vent veil, which came from the same pattern, which was like that. I was exploring kind of like, so I was looking at cardboard and kind of like where the beauty in cardboard was. I've discovered that the beauty in cardboard is when it's wet, so I did some wet pieces and I pulled a bed off the street and like embedded like the skinned cardboard into it, and then that became a piece. So it was very much about process and exploring. I think for me, my time at Sarabande, it was key for me I was at a point in my work where I wasn't quite sure what my work was. And I think that collection I see as truly like my first collection, and kind of really getting to the heart of what my work is about, and materiality and process is at the heart of my work, and kind of firstly not having a material bias, so like understanding what things are and not assuming that, like, you know, leather is a luxury thing and cardboard can't be. I know that sounds insane, but like for me it's about the process and the story behind that and how you get there that is the interesting. In the collection that I did at Sarabande, I had one piece that I got some bin bag. I actually got a bin bag out of the bin that Craig Green had thrown away, like some luxury like bin bag that he got off his wadding. I thought it was amazing. I started to work with it a lot, so I was always looking out for Craig Green's bin bags. I pushed the plastic through the air vent that I found on the street. And it became a rainwear piece, and it was in the collection one of the more wearable pieces. So after that collection, and just at the end of my time at Sarabande, I started to work on more commercial work and rainwear pieces that could be more wearable, sellable. But rainwear itself, I've always been fascinated with rainwear predominantly. When I was at the RCA, I was really confused what type of millinery that I wanted to make, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do wearable, sellable, or very extreme catwalk art pieces. Very confused. I kind of wanted to do them all, and I didn't know what direction to go in. And I started to become really fascinated with people in the rain, because I noticed when it rains and people are caught without an umbrella or anything, they put incredibly extreme structures on their head, like ridiculously, like cardboard boxes, plastic bags, coats. People get very animated, really like fascinating, and people that are usually very, very conservative, very extreme things on the head. So like kind of like the whole thing of like people not wanting to put strange things on the head kind of became completely something different, and I loved that. I absolutely adored it. So I've for a long time just like followed people in the rain, and rainwear collection for me kind of like makes total sense, and it fits with all that. I love it, and I love what people are willing to put on their heads in the rain. It's just amazing. Yeah. Oh, kill my hat. Okay, so so I developed rainwear pieces when I left here, and then I've been really wanting to build up my new, more editorial pieces, and so that's what I've really been focusing on a lot lately. So I got my first cover recently, which was with WRPD magazine, which was really exciting to get my first cover, which came about from a collab that I did with a stylist called Pierre Alexander Foulier. Pierre came to me with the brief that he wanted a piece that he could use with live snails, which I found incredibly exciting. And I am trying to build up working with stylists and other designers in collaborations. So I came up with doing Puddle Hat, which used my use of resin, which I've worked with resin for a long time now, about 7 years. And resin really excited me when I first started working with it because it was liquid form. And I was really interested in tailoring a liquid. And again, it goes back to my love of process and trying to do things that are I like to find things. I like to work with the materials and actually find something exciting. Okay, so the last fashion season that just went, I worked with Marta Jakubowski, who I went to college with at the Royal College of Art. So I created some lace pieces for her new collection, which again was using resin. I'm quite known for resin. For the next fashion season, I'm going to be working with Rose Danford Phillips, who's part of House of Peroni. So we're just currently working on that together at the minute. I'm also working on my own new collection, which is truly probably my first sellable wearable that I'm actually putting out there. So I'm very excited to be putting it out there this next fashion season, hopefully. Not sure. Something that involved lots of people, lots of heads, all at once. I see Sarabande as a big crazy family. All of you. Absolutely awful. Absolutely, can I swear? No. Shit awful.